Hello, everyone. Tom.
Hmm?
Tom, say hello.
Hello, everyone.
That was so rude. You nearly
No,
forgot.
I'm so sorry, everyone. What have we built today, Catherine?
Well, I didn't build this. This is a... Well, actually, not base game. When you get together, you get Windenburg. And this house belongs to the Munch family.
Oh, this is a default house, what I'm looking at right now.
Yes.
This looks rubbish. This looks like something I would make.
Savage.
Even I don't think I make stuff like this anymore.
Oh, even I.
Honestly, like, if your game designers at The Sims 4 can't even make the architecture in the game look good that your Sims are going to be playing in the default, you really shouldn't expect much from the rest of the mechanics and implementations.
Savage.
I know.
That's
And brutal to them.
That is brutal.
Have you seen the sweaters they bring out? Disgusting.
Sweaters?
Like the clothes they put in the game and stuff, just fucking...
Oh.
Like 80% of them are absolutely horrid.
I mean, that's why CC
and uninspired.
exists.
You know what I mean? It's like...
I mean, a lot of it's very sort of like basic American apparel, isn't it? Like stuff you'd find in
They bring out
an American
things like
store,
a
Walmart,
bomber
Target.
jacket.
Yeah.
Like a bomber jacket's supposed to get you excited. I'm sorry, a bomber jacket should have been in there.
I know what you're saying.
It's just a puffy jacket.
I know what you mean.
Oh wow, that's neat.
What? The roof? Is that sarcastic?
It looks like some Dr. Seuss thing already.
What are you talking about?
Because you just made a wonky roof all of a sudden.
It is cute. It is quaint. The idea for this was, I was like, so with the goth house, when I quote unquote renovated it, it almost looked like I just built a new house.
Sweet.
Which isn't good because that's not what a renovation is. So for this one, I limited myself. I was like, okay, I can pull some stuff out, but I can't change a ton about the shape. We try to give it some depth, a little more depth and stuff. So we pull some walls out. But other than that, I don't let myself like remove massive rooms and things like that. So the idea for this was, initially beforehand it was sort of white, black and grey, which is a bit boring. I go for a more red look, you know, make it autumn appropriate, like I do with nearly everything, and gave it a more cottagey look, I guess. It's very Tudory right now. We do keep some of the Tudor style, but mostly it becomes encased in brick because brick is cute, and I guess the Munches were like, our house is too cold in the winter, we need some bricks to like subsidise us. So the Tudor panelling is inside, but it's been covered up with a brick layer. At least that's what I'm imagining. It always takes me a long time to choose the wallpaper, because I have something in mind that I think looks good, and then I put it on and I'm like, wow, that actually looks like hot garbage.
This is actually a lot of hot garbage to
What?
fix. No, to fix.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, like...
I don't know why they don't invite Simmers to build some of the houses. Like, when they introduce new worlds, why not be like, okay, you EA Game Changer person, you can build one house here.
I can only imagine that, because they must be decent at making houses, I can only imagine that they make it simple as a way to introduce it to new players as a stepping stone. This is a house, you make it out of several blocks, and then you add a couple more onto that, and then you start to sort of fiddle around. When I first built a Sims house, you know, I made a giant fucking square.
Same.
Right? But you could see the houses that were in default in the game and learn from there.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't have to do that so much now, because there are so many people online making YouTube videos showing you how to do it. The gallery also is such a quick fix for just like plopping in houses that are just so well designed, and you know, you can edit it, change it
the way you want,
and make them your own, and actually learn how to build them a lot better just with the help of the gallery.
Yeah, that is true. I know what you mean. You might be giving them too much credit.
I might be.
For the when Seasons came out, one of the sim gurus built the house that was in the trailer, and he actively admitted he wasn't very good at building. I don't think he'd ever built anything prior to that.
I mean, the Sims gurus are just community managers. So I wouldn't expect any community manager they're not there
players of the game.
Yeah, they're not there to be good at the game or anything like that, or even know how to do the game. They're just there to communicate to the devs what the community thinks, and communicate from the devs things to the community.
Right.
That's why I think community managers is just no offense, utter wastes.
I'm trying to become a game changer. I personally...
Well, that's different. The game changer thing is a community picking you out and then EA just trying to get you to shill for them.
Yeah.
But
let's stop trash talking it though.
But
I'm a good builder. Get out the video.
I mean,
Tom, you're
when they make you a game
career.
changer,
I have 130 subscribers.
Shut
okay?
up.
Do you know who I am?
Shut up. Look, I mean, you don't have to just say no thing. I think
no, I
Deli
know.
Gracie was the one who showed me. You
yeah.
showed me, and she actually quite, for what I thought, you know,
she's very
a lot
honest,
of Sims YouTubers are like sort of girls in their 20s. You know, they're all really sort of friendly and nice. That's typical Sims YouTuber. But even she, in her own way, slammed the hamster expansion.
It's
like,
hard to be kind about that one because people already forked out.
Like, you don't have to be nice.
No, well, you should just be honest.
But maybe she's big enough where she doesn't have to be nice.
That's true.
If you have, like, you know, 4,000 subscribers and EA make you a game changer, and then the first one you're just like, yeah, Seasons was fucking garbage.
It's like, well, they're not getting anything other than
they're just like, well, no, I'm not sending you
know what
nothing.
though? No Sims person is as bad as this is old news now, but do you remember that viral photo of that Instagram influencer girl with the pancakes that were actually tortillas?
Oh, yeah.
No Sims player is quite as dishonest as that lady.
Yeah, but that Instagram picture was a bit of a joke.
A little bit.
I mean,
it was just so fake. It's such a like parody of itself.
I mean, Instagram is kind of just...
It's very staged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is... Like, not everyone on Instagram's a poser.
No.
But it is a way to pose. You take time. It has built-in Photoshop-ish things, so you can make your life look better before you upload your life.
Yeah, but I mean, you can at least make your own pancakes. It takes like 5 minutes.
I know what you mean. Yeah, that was pretty ridiculous, even for an Instagram thing.
I start my day by rinsing my mouth out with Listerine Pro Enamel.
I have no problem. I actually have no problem with her saying
I don't
Listerine
mind
Pro Enamel.
sponsored posts. I don't mind ads, but like I showed you Dodie, the musician, and her ad about Skittles. She actually makes a personalised song.
Yes, but I mean that's totally up to her to make a personal song.
Yeah, no, of course it is, but I mean...
You know, you watch a Twitch streamer and they're just going to be like, hey guys, thanks for thing. By the way, don't forget to buy Amazon coins.
No, I know, I'm not saying everyone has to do a personalised thing, it's just...
And Dodie might have been paid more to do a personalised thing.
Yeah, but... She didn't even make her own pancakes. Pancakes are one of the easiest things in the world to make. You can make them with
honestly, it reminds me of the Simpsons episode with where Milhouse is Radioactive Man's sidekick.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, "Why are you painting that horse to look like a cow? Cows don't look like cows in movies.
Oh, yeah.
What do you do if you need a horse? We usually tape a few cats together."
That's Instagram.
And that's what she thought. She's like, "Our pancakes don't look like pancakes on Instagram." I'm sure they were just like, "Oh, we've got this big Listerine thing coming up." If I was mad about it, I'd be Listerine would be mad about it, because if I was Listerine, I'd be like, when we want you to do a stage photo, don't feel like you have to put tortillas down because it just makes us look stupid alongside you. Like, if you don't have pancakes, we're not going to sue you about it.
But we might not send you.
But we're not enjoying being, you know, associated with the tortilla pancake girl.
I mean, it's not that big a thing.
I can only imagine just they needed to get it up, and they had left it to the last minute, and they had tortillas in the cupboard because tortillas don't go out of date like pancakes do, and their pancakes are all green because they're both actually
you can make
really lazy people, and her bed's always unmade.
Oops,
sorry.
The mic. Sorry if that was
her bed's never made. But
she has her own face on the bed cover.
But their pancakes are rotted downstairs, and now they've had to replace them with tortillas at the last minute.
But it's like you nearly always have ingredients to make your own. What? Anyway, back to the house.
You think anyone who lives off Instagram posing knows how to do anything?
Well, I mean, Instagram's not been around forever.
She doesn't. This is the thing I didn't like. The thing I didn't like about it is she doesn't even take nice pictures of herself. She makes herself look fake.
Oh, I don't know.
Her mouth's kind of half open all the time with a big smile.
The smiling thing is odd, but I mean, I couldn't do better. I smile at people in the street and they look at me strangely like I'm a murderer. So
what did you use? Listerine?
Yeah, Listerine.
For me, Listerine's always been less about having a great smile and more about killing the bacteria that's making me feel ill. I only ever get Listerine when I'm sick.
You don't understand, Tom.
Because Listerine's like acid.
I know, it tastes absolutely awful.
You have to
burns.
when you get regular mouthwash, you're like...
Listerine,
Listerine, you throw it in, you go...
Yeah,
because you have to get it out of there as quick as possible.
But back to the house, I did try to keep some Tudor elements to it. I had to redesign this side of the house a bit because it was just so flat and odd. So where the roof was jutting out the side, I pulled that out just to make it have a bit more depth. And there was a door where I put doors. I just put 2 there for it to look a bit more cutesy. I wanted to use the doors with windows on because it's just kind of nice to be able to see outside. I don't know. We stick a gate there as well, so your Sims can exit the house from the back of the house as well, because that's always convenient. There's 3 gates on this house actually, so you can leave from the front and both sides. I haven't redesigned the extra building at the back. I didn't want to get rid of that because that's my favourite thing about the house, the fact that they have this separate building. I was going to make it like a mini house for the Munch's oldest son, but then I decided that the mum finally kicked him out and they maintained it as a recreation sort of room.
Nice.
Yeah. We keep some of the Tudor beams like as sort of, I don't know, splash decorations. I don't know what to call it, but just random parts of the house have some Tudor bits on them still, because I didn't want to get rid of the entire thing because it was also Tudory before. I just wanted it to look more cozy, more cottagey, really, because that suits this world really well. Tom's clicking in the background. He has more important things to be doing than commentating.
Why would you out me like that?
Because it picks up the clicking. In one of the recent videos when you weren't recording...
If you picked up the clicking, leave a comment. And don't forget to smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Whenever someone says smash that like button, Tom like quadruple clicks and is like, I'll leave it to chance if it actually gets smashed or not.
Yeah, because it unlikes it as you smash it. So if someone says smash that like button, you just rat-a-tat-tat the like button as long as you feel.
Yeah.
Then sometimes they'll have a like or
not. This big roof part I'm trying to do now. Initially that was a kid's bedroom, I think with 2 beds that the teen and the child shared. I turned that into a conservatory because I didn't want that many bedrooms and they looked awful. And it was just way too big and bulky, this room, so we give a cheeky glass roof and make it a little conservatory because this family seems really, I feel like I say middle class a lot in these videos, but middle class. And middle class families are the type to be like, okay, no TV this afternoon, we're going to go sit in the living area together and play board games and chat about our day, which sounds absolutely awful, but that's what they do, I assume. I don't know, my family never did anything together, but this is what the Munches do, I've decided. Also, I just wanted to use a glass roof, basically. I still like them, the novelty hasn't worn off yet. I put a loft extension up because so often I put up these decorative like rooms at the top and they're literally just there to look aesthetic, but I wanted to use it, so it actually becomes a functional loft. I put in some music equipment and an easel and just some clutter, like they store stuff up there, but the kids got there to do recreational things like drugs. No, just music and art. Music and art. I'm sorry, this is a PG-13 video. But I just wanted to make it a usable loft space because it seems I don't like having things just for decoration. Anyway, I tried to make the house decoration a little more unique than I normally do. I wanted to just change it up a little because I want Tom to be proud of it.
Yeah.
You know, because in the last video you decorated a couple rooms and I made them look a bit more magazine-y.
Wait, are those doors? No, they're just windows and the Tudor look. See this one on the right there? I thought you could come out and stand on the glass roof. I was going to say that's very dangerous and I don't recommend it.
I wouldn't either. That said, however, when I used to live at my grand's house...
did you ever get out on the roof again?
No, of course not. Not me.
I did at my aunt's once.
Oh my god, how frightening. Was it a glass roof?
No.
No. My bedroom at my grand's house was above the conservatory. It was a very small conservatory, but it was very cute. It was kind of a glass roof, but it was like infused with some weird plastic thing. I don't know how to explain it. That sounds awful. It was very pretty. But I could have gotten out onto it. There was a lot of bird poop on it. Anyway, the cat that lives there now, not the old one, but my cousin's cat, because he lives there now, she jumps on the roof all the time to get in through his bedroom window. So that's just kind of cute. But no, I never went on the roof. That was a boring story, I'm sorry. Anyway, here's the living room. I tried to make this look different than my usual living room, so I took Tom's tip, kind of, and I put, what are they called? Like, the cabinet table things behind the sofa in a bit. There's like a shelf to separate the sofa from the window. What, you made a face, Tom?
No, nothing.
Yeah, right there. There's stuff behind the sofa now, just to sort of separate the area a little. I think Tom's upset that the video is so long.
No, I'm not. What are you talking about?
You were jotting down a note saying 32 minutes.
Yeah, that was going to be a secret code to you, but like, damn, we made this video 32 minutes, but now you've fucking gone and said it out loud anyway, so now everyone thinks I'm being a disrespectful dickhead again. You should be insecure.
Oh, what?
Who wants to listen to you for 32 minutes?
Alright, well,
No,
time to go.
no, I'm joking!
Checking out now, guys.
Please, don't do that.
We're all sick of my voice, I guess.
I feel like the majority of Sims videos, people probably just watch the start of it and then skip to the end eventually.
Yeah, no, probably. I mean,
do you do that as well?
No, I actually watch most of the ones I watch. Stop writing on your hand. Do you remember in primary school when people were like, if you write on your hand with ink, you'll get blood poisoning and die?
Yeah, kids said a lot of things.
Teachers said it too. But then again, when we were in primary school, no teachers had to be educated.
Nope.
Fun! That helped.
Now teachers have to be very educated.
Yeah, we're thinking of trying to get into teaching, but it's...
God damn it, Catherine.
That was so rude. I didn't move. I don't know why did... Something fell off. I'm very sorry. These videos are a mess. But who cares? No one makes it this far. We're just talking to ourselves at this point.
Yay.
So I want to go get some shopping. I'm joking. Yeah, no. I mean, lately I've been pretty good with keeping the videos somewhat short. I think most of them are around 15 minutes, which I think is quite good.
Yes.
Yeah. This one, I don't know. Renovations are hard to make short because you end up changing a lot, so you think it's going to be short because you're not actually building it yourself, but the building's the quickest part. I actually cut out a lot. I didn't include any of the outdoor well, actually I included a bit, but I mean, in the Munches house, their outdoor area is very dull, and I change a lot of the outdoors, but you don't see much of that happen because otherwise the video would have been about an hour. But I put in like an actual kids area. There's a swing set and a slide, which is actually for toddlers, but whatever. We can pretend. I say that every video. Just use your imagination. I know it's the video game, but you still have to pretend.
You know what I would like in The Sims?
What?
Because it's so... yeah.
I like it.
You see when you buy a lot, I wish you could see this giant lot right here.
Yeah.
And I understand that this almost doesn't matter, but I would do it for the sort of fantasy of the playing of it. I would love it if you could buy a lot, but then set it to a small lot, and then expand the lot on a sim.
Yeah.
And buy the land,
That'd
and then
really
put
cool.
a house on it, and it would just, I think, simulate the fantasy of like expanding a house bigger.
Right.
Because there's something not satisfying about just adding, or adding a room onto your house.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Often you've built the house, or you've got a house on the lot that's for that lot.
Yeah.
You're never really adding too much on.
And
if
you
you
want
are,
a
it's
bigger
like
house,
a basement with a bowling
move.
alley or
I
a
know
swimming
what you're saying.
pool.
Like in City Skylines, when you've filled your area, you literally buy a piece.
But there's
of
something
land.
really nice when in Animal Crossing, say, when you actually get a new room and you expand that room.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Or
that
you play a town building game, and you know you set up a guild hall, or you set up a new place.
Right.
And I just don't feel you get that with The Sims.
There's not the same satisfaction in moving as there is
It
in
almost
actually expanding.
feels too smooth.
Yeah.
Because you don't make a great leap like your career option, like the way your careers go up is so unsatisfying sometimes,
It's just
where you're
too
just blocked
easy.
off, and it just, the fact being an artist is like the most profitable thing. It's just silly.
So unreal. I know, there needs to be more careers. There needs to be more careers in which you actually travel to work with your sim. And also the objectives for every job are too limited. Like, you were playing as one of your sims and it was just like secure votes every day, just secure votes.
It was
And
at the
with
point
mine,
where...
it was play video games, and it's
yeah,
just, it's not
it was the point where
engaging
people that
enough.
just came over the house, I would just have her talk to them
Yeah.
and secure a vote,
Yeah.
because it was easier to do it with friends. So you would invite, like, just have a party every night of just a couple of people and
Yeah.
just secure their votes, and
Like, even
she'd
in...
never have to go to work.
Right. And even in the herbs, it was more challenging than that to, like, access clubs. You had to actually, like, defeat the villain in the area, and to do that you need to make people like you, and one of them, I don't think you know who, maybe you do, but one of them can teach you this new social move that you use on the boss.
This is unrelated, but in a way.
Yeah.
But one of the things I find very unsatisfying is things like a sim's career will not progress or sort of move backwards if you don't touch them.
Yeah, that's just
And
stagnates.
it's annoying when you're playing your guy and you get a husband or wife and you have a kid, and the family is sort of stuck in limbo unless you pick up the other ones.
Yeah. No,
And that's
true.
really
I know.
frustrating. I don't mind them being stuck in limbo when they're not in your family, because that's for the world and stuff, and then it gets a little more complicated. But
I
when
do
they're in your
understand.
family, I almost wish they'd do a bit of growing. I wish there was an option to say, you know, they take care of themselves and
Yeah.
can actually get promotions on their own. I don't have to think.
I
And
think
if they
that-
don't have the right traits, then obviously they're going to slip away. And I think the game needs like some form of developing traits. I think making a sim that isn't energetic is fine, but I think if you make a sim for like 2 years in game time, exercise every day, I think it's fair enough that everyone would identify as that person in real life as a very energetic person.
I know what you're saying.
There would be habits being built up, and I think it's...
Yeah, maybe Sims need habits. Maybe
think-
that should be a new thing.
I think like stone traits set in stone, that would be a good option to tick on, like, oh, you can actually lose and gain your traits. Because I think it's really unsatisfying when you're sim with the gluttony trait and you fight against it and they get skinny and then you log back on and they're fat.
I know, it's like you want them to be able to
I
change
like how
over
that's the one
time.
thing that changes over time, whether they get fat or not. And it's all dependent, and since that patch, it's highly dependent on how many children they've had.
Yeah, a lot of my female Sims who have had kids have gotten really, really
That one
overweight.
woman who you made, who just had a family of 3 children,
Yeah.
and you made her really hot, and then like fucking that patch, you log in, I'm like, hey cat, who's the Dunkin' Donut?
Oh my god.
And it was just her
that's
waddling
gruesome.
around, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
It's
But she
just-
didn't even have the traits that sort of supported that.
That's the thing, she's a perfectionist, and I can't remember what else she has. She's neat, that sort of thing. So, like, it makes sense for some Sims to gain a lot of weight,
Yeah.
or develop those sorts
I think
of
if you make it
habits.
sort of like a
and-
sim, a foodie, for instance, and lazy, I mean, that's almost a
course.
concoction
Sure.
to just have a fat sim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's fine. And I know that after having children, it's easier to gain weight, and immediately afterwards, your body's not in great shape because you've been stretched out, obviously. You've just had a human growing inside you. That sounds absolutely horrifying, by the way. Never gonna think that sounds wholesome at all. But with some Sims, it's just... You expect them to start working out on their own, but Sims can't make conscious decisions.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just I wish they would sometimes have habits like you said, like
I would in a sequel. I would love to see those. Are probably the 2 things I'd like to see improved the most. Even before things like career options and how that goes about. But I'd love to see the building options be far more nuanced. Because I mean, the use of space in the game, even with BB dot moves, is
Right.
ridiculous. They're nowhere near what a real house looks like, and also just the way, you know, the AI works and how NPCs work and how the world grows around you.
right.
Like
Yeah.
for instance, you know, I feel like it doesn't make sense when your character ages up and no one else age up.
I know, it's annoying.
Especially when it's their friends and you have to go into all their I don't even know if you can do that on console, but you have to go into all those characters and you have to age them all up separately.
I know.
So it makes them feel like they're growing old together.
I know what you mean. I know, I understand. Developing habits, though, I think that's a really good idea. And I think the game needs something like that. And, like, as well as the weight one, there's so many things that should be implemented. Like, you can make your sim aspirational, but there's no sort of hard working trait, and I think that they should be able to earn that. Like, a lot of my sims, I dedicate them to really progressing in their career. Like, I make them obsess over it.
Yeah.
So I think with sims that when you're doing their extra tasks every day, they should develop a workaholic sort of habit.
Another problem I have is sims don't seem to care about other sims.
What do you mean?
So if you had a say a mother sim who has the trait or the dream, you know, I want a successful family lineage, and she has a girl and she does really well, say, and then she has her other kid, and the other kid is an absolute waste of space and is doing nothing with their life.
Oh my god.
A sim like her should be able to, as you be able to pick the player, or as an AI decision, begin a family intervention, or something along those lines.
Okay.
Sims should be able to take more active steps in affecting other sims, like real people do. Real people want to help other people. Sims will never help other sims. Sims only help themselves. Like, all they'll do is either ask for food, fucking when they're a toddler, and that changes. Food's just basically swapped out once they get to adult, and then instead just flirty all the time. And that's all a sim cares about. A sim only seems to care about getting laid.
I know what you mean. Unless you
that's the main interaction with another sim. I want to get laid. That's what the AI does. You see them, they do flirty things, and they'll talk about rubbish. They'll talk about their interests, but their interests have no bearing on the other Sims' interests, and it doesn't actually affect the conversation at all.
I know, I wish Sims would naturally like and dislike each other, like, oh, this Sim just doesn't get along with this one. That only happens when you have two Sims interact and one has the good trait and one has the evil trait.
I've only ever had problems in the city, because the flats, everyone's always noisy. Everyone's noisy. And it's really frustrating, especially when you have noisy neighbours and you're being noisy while they're being noisy. I've had this happen. They're being noisy and I'm being noisy, and they will come out, knock on my door and tell me to stop fucking being noisy.
And then go back and turn on their music again or something.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Right. I know. Yeah. I know. But I mean, like, you know...
It's like I had one dude knock on my door and say, hey mate, I heard you and your Sim having sex. I'm trying to have a party over here. Can I get some respect? I was like, what? I was bamboozled. This could happen.
Oh god. But yeah, you know Bob and Eliza Pancakes, The Sims. Yeah. So they're notorious for having a dysfunctional marriage, and that's because Eliza is a neat perfectionist who's obsessed with working out, and Bob is a slob who's just messy and doesn't work hard enough and that sort of thing. And so, I don't know, it's just in their household description it says that they don't get along, and if you look at their house they seem to have separate bedrooms. But in my game they actually do get along, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't actually matter. Roleplay wise, you're like, of course they don't get along. One wants a lot in life and the other one doesn't care that much, and he's really lackadaisical.
Yeah, none of them seem to have sort of a moral compass.
Yeah.
And none of it, like, I'm assuming Eliza is supposed to be, no offense to Bob, but she's supposed to be quite easy to get with. Like, she doesn't, she's, the way they set it up, like, that's a dissatisfied marriage.
Yeah.
Right? Bob's a lazy arsehole, but he seems like a nice guy, but she wants more in life still and isn't ready to be at that age yet. But if you went and flirted with Eliza, she would eventually reciprocate, and that almost makes sense. You can do that with anyone though.
Exactly, so it's not like, that big a thing.
People, I think, notoriously always go for Bella Goth because she's just like a hot default NPC who's like a MILF, right?
Yes.
But then Bella Goth is, as far as I'm concerned, like, nothing in her lore suggests she's unhappy with Mortimer.
No, there's a weird thing in her lore though.
But you get what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the problem with the game. Like, you can seduce anyone. Like, if Kath went away for a week, I could go in make the most disgusting rhino of a man, right? And I could romance her character, who she's been playing on for the last 2 years, and her character would not be aware of its own history and would not be able to sort of express any form of autonomy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to exert sort of, sorry, I hit the mic for the 4th time.
Jesus, Tom.
Some sort of, you know, roleplay restrictions on yourself. Like I told you, like with Skyrim, like Skyrim's a terrible game, but if you actually sit there, roleplay, and restrict what you're going to do in the game, it's actually quite an excellent sandbox.
Yeah, that's why people play it.
Because it's a really good sandbox.
Right.
You just have to ignore all the bad writing, quest placement, you know, the mechanics. You have to model that. You have to do a lot of work on Skyrim, but then it's a good game.
You basically have to remake the game, and then it's a good game.
Then it's a good game. Yeah.
Back to the house though. We've been just dragging the Sims.
Dragging on the Sims. The Sims is such a The Sims is such a good it's a pretty good game.
It's got so much potential,
but it could be
for
incredible.
Yeah.
It's too safe.
I know what you mean. There's so much more that could be done. We're coming to the end of it, but this is the outdoor area. There was nothing really in this area before, so I made it this sitting area with a fire pit in the middle, where everyone could just sit and chat, maybe have a drink. I don't know. I don't drink, but you could drink there. I mean, I drink water and coffee. You could drink those if you don't drink. Anyway, we put in a climbing frame kids area. There's a hot tub and a basketball net. There's a lot to do outside. See you in the next video. Bye for now.
Bye all.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Smash that like.
And smash
Smash
that
it.
like button. Bye.